flashlight to help us out if it gets too dark.
Oh, is that like one of those tack lights? I love those.
Let's just say it is. There we go. Just in case power goes down, he can wind it up. He's got one of those.
If the power goes down, it's not going to matter because you're going to lose internet. So
we got crank up. Don't we have crank up Wi-Fi?
Get the hamsters out.
Keep running.
That would be awesome, right? So like you're just sitting here while you're doing your Wi-Fi just to make sure you have enough. And that makes me think of the
Edwin G. Robinson and Soylent Green.
When I was in auto shop, which like forever ago because I'm an old man. My auto teacher. When I was in. We got Church of Failure with us. What's up, Church?
Nice.
Hey, what dinosaur was your first car there, Drew?
My first car was a Mustang. So I don't mean the horse either. I mean an actual car.
We know what Mustangs are around here.
Yeah. But those he had this little this army communication device that you would have to actually crank, and then it would get a charge, and then you'd be able to use the charge, and then it would last like maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you'd have to crank it again to get charged, and then you could use the charge. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever back then. Now it's like the tech is just so old school. Yeah,
that's all the amount of internet we need is about 3 minutes.
Right, just 3 minutes of internet.
Four and a half. I mean, we have to have time to feel shame before it goes away.
It depends on your how long you last. Right?
I'm gonna pretend I have no idea what you're talking about. You get to be my age, 4 minutes just isn't enough, I don't think.
What, to feel shame?
You don't feel shame at this age. I don't think you feel shame after 50.
Yeah. You stop caring at a certain point.
Unless you've got a prop gun and you shoot somebody on the movie set that's not even one of the actors.
I'm not sure he felt any shame, but we're gonna leave that there.
Well, if you're shooting them with a prop gun, that's a little better, I think, than what other things you could be shooting them with.
Look, Brandon Lee was not a fucking not a how-to guide.
Right, exactly. In fact, they changed the laws because of him, and in fact, they developed a whole lot of like new departments just for prop management because of the Brandon Lee incident. Ryan Wynn, I gave him a link. He is welcome to join us, but he said he was doing some stuff with his mom and stuff. But he has a link, and he's in the chat right now, hanging out.
Ahoy, Ryan!
Hammerella, that book. So, yeah.
Honor your mother.
Definitely. So we are here with a great crowd tonight. We got some people coming in. And there's another one. Here we got Sim.
What's up?
What's up, Sim?
I gotta go, guys. No reason, nothing to do with. Hey, Sim, how's it going, buddy?
Later, Chair.
It's like one of us was going one way or the other.
Yeah, well, Church has a show at 10, so he'll be gone. Don't worry.
Right. I was invited on with the precursor of, you get 30 minutes to be an asshole and then you got to go.
Mike is sliding away right now as you're falling beneath the level of interest, I think.
So let's get back to the focus on what we're here for. That is just hilarious. The whole sinking thing, that's making me crack up here. So we are here because the great, the legendary, and the very humble Mike Barron is here tonight with us. This is a very special thing, we actually put Indie Comics interviews on hiatus for a little while, but we brought it back tonight for this. So we brought it back tonight. For everybody who's watching right now, it's because of this. We have the great Mike Barron. For those of you who don't know who Mike Barron is, you need to actually figure it out because that was just horrible. You don't know.
Then you're not a real comic book fan.
Yeah, you're not. You're really not. I mean,
I invented house suspenders.
He invented the liquid paper.
Any relation to the bloody Red Baron?
That's my Twitter tag.
That's his Twitter. Now he's talking about the house suspenders from Florida Man. Sim had a nice page in that Florida Man graphic novel Mike did.
Yep, and I enjoyed my copy.
It was beautiful, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
the Florida Man did turn out to be a very funny read. So
I enjoyed it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now, Mike is not. This is not a funny book, though. That was a funny book. This is not a funny book.
no, this one I feel is going to be like what I would have expected from, let's say, Nexus and Punisher, but like even more intense, right? Like no holds barred. Is that what I should expect here?
Well, I think it's probably the most realistic comic I've ever written. Everything in it could happen. In fact, it already has happened.
Okay. So let's start off then with like giving everybody the little video pitch so that everybody can see that real fast. Let me get that up and going here real fast. So we're gonna hit this video and we'll follow up with on the other side.
There's no audio.
Oh, you know what? I haven't done streaming
Got
in a
him.
while, guys. I'm sorry.
He's getting rusty.
Everybody, take a shot.
All right.
Wait, we were waiting to do that?
No, but I just thought it would be funny.
Oops.
I'm trying to join in.
It's okay. You're exempt from that rule, Church.
Share tab audio. Dang it. Wrong.
What is the
computer.
drinking game tonight?
The drinking game?
I think it's
You know
just a
what?
drink.
Yeah, usually it's just to drink.
Mike doesn't drink, just for the record.
Mike,
He'll
you
be
don't
our
drink?
referee.
I used to.
Take a shot every time you want to take a shot.
There we go.
All right, let me get this tried again here. So I'm going to go share. I'm going to stop screen, share screen, share screen.
Dictate every
And
move I make.
checkbox.
This is riveting.
Play by play. It's a play by play. It's an educational tutorial on how to share.
Thank you for sticking around, everyone.
All right. So sorry, everybody. And now here we go.
Beginning with issue number 1, Mike Baron wrote Marvel's The Punisher for over 5 years, approaching it as a straight crime comic, without any superheroes, aliens, or robots. Over the course of 60 issues, Baron elevated the gritty anti-hero into one of the most popular and enduring characters in the Marvel Comics universe. Now he brings that same ultra-realistic intensity to his latest graphic novel, Thin Blue Line. In the middle of a long, hot summer, a police shooting ignites a city. Activists, opportunists, and provocateurs descend to riot, loot, burn, and kill. Thin Blue Line follows Officer Valeria Baca and her partner as their detail guarding the mayor turns into a battle for survival. Ride along on this harrowing tale of two brave law enforcement officers fighting for their community and their own survival in a world gone mad. Eisner winner Mike Baron has created an alarming tale that unflinchingly examines human fallibility on every level. Along with penciler Joe Arnold, himself a full-time police officer, and talented anchor Jeff Slemons, they've created a moving and entertaining story ripped straight from today's headlines. Thin Blue Line exposes the defund the police movement and its consequences for society, but several comic book companies have refused to publish it. Now we're asking you to join the effort to distribute it independently and help support the men and women of law enforcement. Get your copy of the only graphic novel to offer an unflinching and not always flattering look at the men and women of law enforcement during a time when we need them the most. Not all heroes wear capes. It's a thin blue line between the rule of law and a world of chaos. Which side are you on? Thin Blue Line by Mike Baron. Order now on Indiegogo.
10-4, good buddy.
Nice. That looks like it's going to be awesome. So, I mean, that pretty much sums up the story. I mean, we know what to expect. It's going to be
Well,
a
yes
nice.
and no. I mean, there's a lot in there that you wouldn't imagine. You just have to read the story and find out.
Oh yeah, Well, yeah, we don't obviously get it from the summary. There's but we know it's going to be intense and drama.
Yeah,
It's not going to be a comedy like Florida Man was.
Yeah.
We got Lothar in the chat. Hey, old Lothar, great to see you, buddy. We got Pops Van Zant hanging out. What's up,
Hey,
Pops?
Pops.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, Lothar.
Yes, Lothar is awesome. It's kind of nice to actually be streaming again and talk to some people I haven't seen in a while, and it's just I feel like I've been off the radar forever because I haven't been streaming. So.
Well, you needed a break,
I did, and I I'm going to find the way to get it back into normal here. So this is is this the official cover here? This one?
That's the official cover, although we may be using it as the autograph card and using Butch Geis as the official cover. This was the first cover. This is done by Jeff, our artist here, the inker, who is a painter and fine illustrator in his own right. Jeff Slimmons.
Hello.
And that's at jeffslimmons.com. Check him out. He's fantastic. So Jeff put this together in the early days, and it's totally hand-painted. None of this work is digital in this book. And then Mike Mike's worked with so many names that we know in the industry over his 40 years or so in the comic industry. That Butch Geis wound up doing a cover for us, which we loved, and Jeff liked, and Joe liked, and it's really dynamic, and we're probably going to use it. It's the one that's featured on, as you see over there on the perks. But then Sergio Cariello did another cover. So if we hit a certain stretch goal, we're going to offer it as a variant.
Is there a picture of it on here?
Yeah, go on down. You'll find it.
Let's see here. Is this it? No, that's the Punisher.
That's it. Yeah. It's Punisher #1. We're crowdfunding. It's a hyper violent vigilante.
Is this the one?
That's Butch. Yep.
All right. So this is the picture that I actually was using to promote the stream. So,
yeah. And that's the one, but keep going down, you'll see Sergio's right under it. And each of these sort of captures what's happening in the book. Although, well, I'm not going to get into some of the details, spoiler area, but it's sort of Mike made his name, I think, beyond Nexus, doing the first 60 issues of the Punisher, and he did it without robots and aliens and superheroes. It was street crime, it was violent. It was out in the streets fighting crime and doing it his way. And now Mike has sort of flipped the script, and our main protagonist, the hero of this story, is the woman there on the right, Valeria, who's a single mom, but she also works as a full-time police officer.
Well, a lot of people would say that the years that Mike was writing The Publisher is that not
the Publisher. I'm always writing The Publisher.
I'm sorry. You know what? The Publisher.
They don't write us back anymore.
Somebody just smacked me for not being able to speak English properly. But the Punisher. Yeah. Obviously, we're talking about publishing, and
yes.
It's kind of Freudian slip, I guess. The Punish the Publisher. So when Mike was writing the Punisher, is some of, if not the all-time best issues across the board. Most of the best moments, Punisher moments, are in those. It's like the first 76 issues with a few missed here and there. You know what I mean? That he didn't write.
Yeah, at least the first 61 or 62 without a break.
Yeah.
Which I have most of those issues.
Yeah. So it's, I remember, reading those and thinking that this is just insane for a comic. Cause it's not like, seriously, back then when that was, when that was the thing, the Punisher was like the closest thing to, I guess, Batman, without the super gadgets, it's like, it was the super badass who was, I don't know, always getting into it. I mean,
Mike,
it's,
how'd you get that gig on the Punisher? It was from the Badger, wasn't it? How
Yeah,
did that
Carl
happen?
Potts was the editor. He called me up to ask me to write it. He said, I chose you because of your work on the Badger.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
the Badger, of course, there's martial arts in the Badger. Mike does martial arts. Mike, what's your? I bet nobody knows this. Mike, what is your current rank?
I'm a 4th-degree black belt.
So in this
In
book,
in what?
Well, it's at Karate West, which, as the name says, it's karate. But like any good martial arts school, they teach everything these days, especially Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and boxing. My instructor, Kim Yi, he graduated from the same high school I did in Madison, Wisconsin. I didn't know that when I went down there for the first time. It's just an odd coincidence. Kim's a great guy, and he's done everything. He's fought full contact, and he's very adept at boxing. And he emphasizes a lot of boxing techniques, which have to do with footwork and changing your angles and moving your head, which I'm going to learn to do one of these days.
So when did you start training? Was it, like when you were young, or
1975.
okay? So then you definitely were applying that skill set and that knowledge to your writing of the of the Punisher. I'm going to say the Publisher so many times now. It's there.
Yes, I've wanted to apply that knowledge to the publisher.
To the Publisher.
But yeah, that's correct. I did start applying that knowledge as soon as I started writing the Badger and Punisher.
Fantastic.
and what's cool about this book, I know we've got Jeff here, who is the finisher and inker, but the penciler is Joe Arnold, who's a full-time cop, and Joe is a practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh yeah, he's real
Features-
serious.
Yeah, and it features into the book because the hero, Valeria, in the very first page, you see her graduating up to, I think, from a brown to a purple belt. Is that right, Mike?
I'm not clear about the ranks. I'd have to ask
You
Joe
wrote
about
it.
that.
That's all I know.
I don't know the jiu-jitsu ranks. I don't know how they proceed. I just know the karate ranks.
Well, she is getting awarded a belt after she takes down this big dude. And Joe, being a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, knows all the moves. There's more pages than that. And throughout, of course, there's a callback to that when she has to take on somebody about that big.
The artwork's really nice. I was admiring that earlier. I was trying to think of like who I could compare it to, but I really couldn't like nail down anybody else.
You want me to tell you who it reminds me of? And I think it's sort of a fusion between what Jeff and Joe bring. It reminds me of Savage Sword of Conan's Ernie Chan.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me of that Ernie Chan look. I don't know why. There's sort of a roundness to the features of the characters, but they're real dynamic. They look strong, and there's a lot of detail in there. I like it. I don't know if anybody remembers Ernie Chan, but
Not specifically, but when I think of the issues of Conan, there are some that look a lot like what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Ernie cut his teeth inking John Buscema back in the day, so he's got a similar style, and I think they've.
He was usually on Conan the Barbarian title.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was. I think he took it over completely for a while.
I've heard cutting your teeth is painful. I've never personally cut one, but I don't imagine that to be a pleasant experience.
You if your teeth get through your gums, then you basically cut them all. So
Also,
so you know.
you're a baby that's under 6 months old. I understand.
Right, if you haven't cut your teeth yet. Yeah.
So Mike and Joe used to be in a comics group. That's how they've known each other. They've known each other, what, Mike, for 8 or 9 years?
Longer than that.
Yeah.
Now
Joe
Joe's
Beltai was in our
Joe's
group too.
the penciler who didn't make it tonight, right?
Yeah, Joseph Arnold. Who else, Mike, did you say?
Gabe Eltaib, the colorist who just quit DC in disgust.
Oh, yeah. The guy that stood up to DC Comics and said, I'm not going to draw or color your anti-American Superman anymore. Mike's friends with him. They used to have a comics group out in Colorado, and that's where Jeff and Joe and all the guys met.
In fact, we're interviewing Gabe tomorrow.
What's your show, Mike?
It's the Bear and Earls show, and it'll be live on the comics and novels of Mike Barron and also on Jeff Earls' page. And then we're going to rebroadcast it later on Wednesday afternoon. For all I know, it might be up permanently. I'll talk to Jeff about that.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's every Wednesday you do that show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about Gabe quitting DC this week?
The over the line, Truth, Justice, and the American Way to a Better Tomorrow.
A Better Tomorrow.
A better tomorrow.
A Better Tomorrow sounds so like the whole like lib progressive terminology. That's just, I mean, it's like
empty.
Yeah.
Hey, screw you guys. I've ordered my rainbow colored Superman shirt. It's in the mail. I swear it is.
Glitter and everything.
That's right. And it's going to say climate alarmist on the back.
I got my Let's Go Brandon shirt.
Last week we were talking about the episode or the issue where Superman stops a school shooting faster than 67 speeding bullets, I believe was the quote.
Well, I'm glad he's doing something to help other people. Was that in America, or did he go to the Middle East to save any LGBTQ allies from being hung?
He was saving his LGBTQ boyfriend.
Did they go over to China to save the others that are being?
I'm not sure, but they definitely invoked a lot of Christchurch imagery in that book.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm serious. I saw that material when it was going on, and a lot of the screens and the panels in this comic book evoke similar imagery from that video.
I think in 5 issues or less, he's going to save the Capitol building from right-wing MAGA insurrection.
Oh, on July the 6th.
Yeah.
January the 6th, whatever date that was.
Perfect.
Going to go back in time, no less, to do it.
Yeah, I'm laughing because they had to make Superman's son of Kal-El. Does he have a name?
John Kent.
John Kent. They made his new boyfriend invincible, apparently. You know what I mean? And,
Power bottom.
Right, and it's like, okay, so I was like wondering like why.
I just understood that reference. Oh,
yeah.
Careful, dirty-minded guys.
I'm a building. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you remembering my nouns.
I'm sorry that I misstructured you.
Oh, I love. I just saw Ryan's comment. Frank Assel,
the publisher. I'd like to see him go up against Daniel Cherry III. By the way, I want to see Blame Daniel Cherry trending on Twitter soon. Okay.
Blame Daniel Cherry. Apparently, I just went back up to 1,000 subs. Yeah, I keep going
up there. Yeah,
I keep going up and down on my subs right there because
you're on the precipice.
Right. I've gone over 1,000 like maybe 5 or 6 times. So it's like it just keeps going back down though. So
Pops is out here rooting for you.
But as soon as you pass,
Pops is awesome.
Aren't you supposed to claim it, get it, and even if you lose some, you don't lose it?
Yeah, I still have the ability to post stories and stuff like that. Yeah, but I don't have enough hours to to get the
monetization. Got it.
Yeah.
We're at least 26 minutes in right now, or 24 minutes in, so we're adding to it.
Right, we're doing that. Actually, I get a lot more views on these shows on Facebook than I do on YouTube.
How about that?
And I mean, think about it, guys. I'm going to leave soon, and that'll just shoot the viewer count through the roof.
Every time you speak up, I forgot that you haven't left.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
I love you. I love you.
Can I have some more, sir?
The beatings will stop when morale improves around here.
The morale will never improve. Just please continue.
Continue the beatings. So, Lady Cop here that you're showing off 1975. That was a police officer that DC tried. This was sort of their one-shot series where they would try out new characters. Jeff just sent me a link probably 20 minutes ago of a buddy of his that happens to own at least 85% of all the original pages. Wouldn't you say, Jeff?
Yeah, I think he pretty much owns the whole Lady Cop story. I don't know if there was a backup story in that, but Nick was pretty proud of that.
Who was the artist?
Who is the artist? Let me see.
I just like that DC was so progressive back in the day that we have a hulking man attacking a female cop with a chain. Just right there on the cover.
Yeah. Now wait a minute. What I think is really important to notice is it was a diverse gang. All the gang members look like they're different ethnicities. So I mean, DC's been progressive for years.
Right.
They just didn't brag about it. The artist was John Rosenberger and Vince Coletta.
Yeah, I think it's pretty progressive that they have her using a billy club instead of just shooting him.
Can I call dibs on the page where she inevitably gets tied up because this is DC Comics?
She does not get tied up.
Damn it!
No,
If
but
you get tied down.
there is some. She does get a chain slung around her wrist, but she uses it in a judo-like move to toss the guy into the river.
Judy Chop, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was actually only It looks like it was. It looks like it might have only been a 16-page story. Yep, and it was a single story. Wait a minute. Nope, I take that back.
That's the.
It was 2 stories of her, and one was a 5-page and one was a 16-page.
That's a hell of a plot for a reboot. Judy Chop, the Lady Cop.
Judy
Chop the Lady Cop.
No, that's not bad. But
that would actually be a great play on words name for a lady cop. Her name is Judy Chop, the Lady Cop.
well, she learns karate. I'm going to show you a page. I don't think Mike knows any of this. You see that center panel right there?
Hold on, let me
blow him up.
Wait a second.
All right, now let's get her in focus there.
Old school newsprint. I love those. All my Flash Gordons.
Let me see if I can zoom this bad boy in a little bit.
How much for the Slim Jim advert? That's what I'm really interested in.
Yeah, look at her.
Razzles.
Oh yeah, back when art meant something. That's great.
Man. That's good stuff. That's when she's training to be a cop.
Detail.
You like that skirt? Now, Mike's. She doesn't wear a skirt in Blue Line.
Yeah, skirtless.
Very
progressive, Mike. Very progressive.
Not advertising.
I've trained with lady cops.
I've been arrested by lady cops.
Well, lucky
That's
you.
right.
Yeah.
I dated a lady cop once for a short period of time.
Wow, man, this is a small world. I like where this is going.
Let's start a new show called Lady Cop. Oh, I guess we're a little late on that.
Yeah, right.
That explains the handcuffs.
You can see the handcuffs?
What's neat about this too is Joe being a full-time officer, he kind of knows a lot of the tactical gear that they suit up with and kept everything sort of, accurate. There's some authenticity here. But, since it's Mike Baron, I mean, it's all about thrills, drama, complex payoffs at the end. And, defund the police movement doesn't necessarily get mentioned. Antifa doesn't necessarily get mentioned. It's not a circuit.
This is really good looking artwork, and the coloring is just fantastic.
Colorist is Ixan Ansari. Ixan did the color work on Florida Man, and he is just pumped to do this. He was thrilled to be able to color. What we did was, I'm going to tell you guys something that it's sort of alluded to in the campaign here, but once I read the story and saw the art, I knew, man, this will appeal to a wide audience that's sort of hungering for something besides superpowered alien science fiction superheroes. And we sent it to some of Mike's previous publishers, some other indie publishers that he's not been published with. And man, they wouldn't touch it. They won't touch it.
No, they obviously did not read it.
No, right. Well, I think that it was just a surface level.
A priori, we ain't doing no stinking cop comics.
Yeah, we don't do cop comics. Yeah, forget it. And, it doesn't matter that this is a She's Hispanic, so it's a woman of color. She's a single mom. It's a female, almost a female empowerment story, I guess. I mean, it's
Well,
not
I don't choose these characters for political reasons. I choose them to make the best possible story, the most dramatic story, and what will grip the reader the most. And it just so happened that I thought she would be an appealing character. Every writer, every good writer, has to be able to imagine every point of view, or he's not able to write. And you can always puncture these arguments about, well, you can't write that by simply saying, should Shakespeare have been permitted to write Othello?
Right. No, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Like today, by today's standards, Shakespeare would be like chewed apart
Oh, yeah.
because of
I'm
his approach to
surprised
half the
they
stuff.
haven't attacked him yet. They've attacked everything else under the sun. It's only a matter of time before they come after Shakespeare and demand that they stop producing Othello or The Merchant of Venice.
Or they can't do Romeo and Juliet anymore because they're underage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or,
I don't know if they'll ever stop that, but I get your meaning.
Well, I don't know. Schools here in Quebec, they remove all the Lucky Luke comics because there was racism in it. So the school burned all the books.
Oh, gosh. Oh,
they burned the books?
Yeah, they destroyed them.
Well, they could have sold them.
I know.
At least taking the money.
I know, but that's not getting rid of the old racism from jokes in the book. Because look, if you know anything about Lucky Luke, they used to make jokes of everything. So Indians had funny names, cowboys had funny names.
Native Americans, please, Sim.
Sam, I'm really pleased that you've given us. There's Ixan in the chat.
Yes.
What's up?
Anyway,
Nice
gentlemen,
shout out, Ixan.
What is it, 8 a.m. over there, Ixan?
Yeah, what time is it over there, buddy?
it was great being here, guys. But I must vamos. So congratulations on the new project.
Thanks, Jeff.
Apparently, we got the warning for church.
That's right. Church of Failure is out. Sam is still here. Jeff is here.
I thought Jeff was leaving.
No, that was church.
All right. Goodbye,
church
church.
having to go. Yeah. So I did put out some other invites and stuff, but like Saturday nights, a lot of people are heavily intoxicated by this hour already.
Oh, we're perfect for them.
Yeah. So they're just watching, because they can't.
Watching, chatting. Any super chats happening out there? Come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't get super chats because I'm not monetized, but
all right, well, go to Indiegogo and monetize that campaign. That would be good.
Yeah. Speaking of, let's look at the progress. Let's see where we at.
I think we've gotten 100 or so.
Yeah, it's 55:47 when we started here,
Hit that
and
refresh.
we're at 58:01.
Nice, $250 right here. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Look, the subs are going up. The numbers are going up. And we just launched yesterday about 10 a.m. So that's pretty good first 30 hours, I guess.
And I got a question. Is that's a self-contained story, right? Beginning and with a possible sequel.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, if there's a huge reaction to this and there's a big demand, I would write a sequel, but it's not on the horizon right now. I'm working on so much other stuff. This is a complete self-contained story. It's very satisfying, too. It doesn't leave you asking questions at the end. It leaves you with a feeling that, that was a really good story.
Yeah. I think it's so good that people will want a sequel, Mike, because Valeria Baca, tell us let's hear the origin on her, Mike. You've written one.
Well, the only thing we know about Valeria is she's a single mother with a 7-year-old daughter, and she decided to become a police officer not only out of a desire to serve the community, but because her great-great-grandfather was Elfego Baca, the legendary lawman of the Southwest. He was a real character. Let me look him up here, and I'll tell you a few facts.
Disney made a TV series about it.
Yeah. Born February 10, 1865, lived to 1945. He was a gunman, a lawman, a lawyer, and a politician in New Mexico. Political party, Republican.
She never met him. That's her great-grandpa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walt Disney featured a Western serial entitled The 9 Lives of Elfego Baca because he was the cat. They called him the cat, which was later compiled into a movie.
Now, does El Fuego Baca feature at all in your next police procedural that's set in the Old West, Mike?
I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah, okay, good enough. We don't need to go there right now. We don't need to go there.
Notebook.
The Baron world, it's the new Baron world. It's all connected.
They call him the New Mexican Davy Crockett.
The New Mexican Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
So tell us how you brought Jeff in on this, Mike, because I know that really, if you look at the original work that Joe did, he did some stuff that's pretty well rendered, but other stuff, when we met Jeff out there in Colorado a few months back, I noticed, wow, there was very little being drawn. Sometimes it was almost layouts, and other times it was really rendered.
Yeah, Jeff really finished what Joe started, because Jeff is a consummate artist in his own right. If you go to jeffslemons.com and take a look, you're going to be in awe. In fact, ever since somebody flashed his art the other night while they were going through his page, I saw a picture of the Rat Pack, and I've been searching for it ever since, and I finally found it. I found that Rat Pack, Jeff, and I just posted it on Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's in the caricatures or the humorous section.
Yeah, and it's pretty great. Let me post it so you on the Twitter page we're using so that you can see it. I'd love for you guys to see it. I love the Rat Pack, and I save every rendition of them that I can.
Now, you have not worked with Jeff before this project, have you, Mike?
No, we talked about it.
Yeah, we kicked around ideas, but he's got a bunch of stuff on his plate. So do I. But when this was offered up, I thought it was too good, too real to pass up. So
now, Jeff, you know somebody did back the include me in the book, the mugshot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay,
right.
I copied you on that. So there's still work to do for this project. I know you thought you were finished.
It never ends.
And that's the beauty, Drew, is the book's done other than the coloring. We're waiting on basically getting funded so we can pay Ixan to finish the coloring. We're planning on using Warren Montgomery again to do the lettering. And Ixan had already colored several pages you see here, but it's because I wanted to send out a package of colored, lettered, some uncolored but lettered pages to potential publishers.
Right.
You know, thinking that somebody was going to snatch it right up, and they didn't. And maybe that's going to work out in our favor if we hit a lick on this funding campaign. But
yeah, well, I understand that publishers are not accepting too many new IPs these days anyway. So, I mean, they're having trouble with their existing IPs.
They haven't wanted to touch stuff for years.
Yeah.
Well, Image seems to be spewing stuff out like a fountain.
Yeah, Image seems to be hemorrhaging new books.
And lately, there's also been a report about some paper going scarce. So Image Comics just announced that they're not going to be doing second prints or reprints.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And it's the same. It's the same thing from the French European comic world that I've been noticing too and reading.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much worldwide, and every comic book medium is getting.
Yeah. Well, from my understanding with Image, the issue there is that they're trying to find a property to take hold, because they had Saga making them a whole lot of money for a while, and there hasn't been an issue with Saga in a while. Yeah, Walking Dead as well.
And they have Incredible. Is that it? Invincible? That's been a big hit on Amazon.
Yeah, Invincible was a hit on Amazon Prime.
What does Image get out of that?
Yeah, I don't know if they get any money out of the Amazon Prime stuff. I mean, maybe they got like an IP, licensing deal. I don't know what the situation is.
We need to talk to Amazon about a Florida Man cartoon.
Take a look at the
Hit
Twitter
Netflix.
feed. Take a look at that picture of the Rat Pack and see if you can put that up on the screen.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Jeff is so good. Jeff, how did Mike bring you in on this? Tell us that story.
Yeah, tell me, because I don't remember.
I had to do it.
Come on.
No, it was just a good story. I liked it. It's real. I thought it was relevant for the last year and a half, and I knew it probably would be unpopular with, like we just discussed, any major publishers, but I thought it would be just a good project to be on.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
That is really great work.
Yeah, it was for a gambling casino. I forget which one.
Are there any kind of casinos that are not gambling?
Well, maybe you've got a point there, but that was a Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
He likes adjectives.
Can't
So
remember which one.
Mike's constantly telling me to reduce the adjectives.
Yeah, adjectives are not your friend.
Okay.
I have issues with adjectives sometimes, like because I can't find the right descriptive term, so I'll mix a bunch of adjectives trying to get that there, and it always hangs me up. So it's like one of those things where I agree. Sometimes it's better to not use any if you can't find the right one. So
It's like unnecessary ingredients.
If you use the right verb, you don't need an adjective
Okay.
or an adverb.
That is a nugget of wisdom from an Eisner Award-winning, Ink Pot-winning writer.
I'm always trying to pare it down.
Yeah. Mike, what's your Substack? You got a Substack now too, don't you?
Yeah, mikebarron.substack.com.
Now, is there paid content only on there?
No, it's all free so far.
Okay.
I haven't written anything that people are willing to pay for. But
I
there's
like
a
that
lot
Exorcist article you did. That was
thank you.
perfect for Halloween here.
Yeah, it was about seeing The Exorcist in Mexico City. And as you know, Mexico is a Catholic country. Every seat in that theater was filled, and that audience was with the story more than any audience I've ever seen in my life. And I mean, when something shocking happened on the screen, the whole audience moaned. It was unbelievable.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it. Have you ever been in a movie, Drew, where at a theater where the whole crowd was into it?
Oh yeah. In fact, I saw the first, I don't know, not the first, but the Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
I saw that when it was the first release day.
Yeah.
Of that, and that was pretty. The audience really responded to that really well. And then also Jurassic Park, by the way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was
that one. That one got people throwing up in this theater.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! I don't like that. My dad loved that Bram Stoker film. For me, it was Rocky III. That last fight, people were standing up, cheering, and the whole damn audience was going Rocky, Rocky. It was a Saturday matinee.
I wrote the Mr. T comic. They flew me down to Chicago to meet Mr. T.
No way!
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got pictures of me and Mr. T. I'll put them up tomorrow.
I have seen that.
Awesome.
Picture. I have seen that. That's awesome, Mike. I had no idea.
I actually read the Mr. T comics. That was forever ago, man. That's back when they had the Mr. T cartoon too.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Mike's handled all these incredible properties and even has some of his own, not just Florida Man, but Nexus and Badger. And this story that he's written right here, you asked if there's a sequel. Honestly, there could be a flippin' TV show of this character if somebody that makes those sorts of decisions read it and was willing and had some balls. I mean, you have to have balls, obviously.
Well, you also these days you actually have to get that stuff in front of people because those people are bombarded so heavily. That,
oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you going to be at the LA Comic-Con?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Mike, you've got something going on Wednesday. I think he's got a book signing Wednesday.
No. Next weekend I'm going to be in Albuquerque for the New Mexico Comic-Con.
Yeah, the December 3rd, 4th, and 5th is the LA Comic-Con, and yeah.
Are you going?
I've already got my table paid for, and
damn, Drew, good for you.
Yeah.
Take a look at the Twitter message board again. I put up that Mr. T cover. Norm Breyfogle was the artist.
Oh, wow. Love his Batman.
Norm was a funny guy. The first time I met him, within 10 seconds, we were arguing with each other.
That's great.
It might be you, Mike. I don't know. It might
no, he was that way with everybody.
Okay. Mike says he's going to see Jim Lee next weekend. Anybody got a message for Jim Lee?
Inclusion.
Yeah.
Like your own comic.
Frank Miller is going to be at the LA Comic-Con this year.
Oh, sweet. Go tell him that the UK Comic-Con suck for kicking him out. Who did that cover?
Geez, I don't know if Norm did that cover or not.
Looks like Biff something. I see the signature in the lower right. I can't tell who did that.
Biff.
Biff.
Oh, that's Brayfogle.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Brayfogle.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his signature.
I didn't realize that. Okay, damn. The future is now. Now Comics. Boy, they put out some great Terminator comics. I know that.
Ron Fortier wrote those.
Is that right? Yeah. Oh, I've got them. They're great. What's his name? Did a painted one shot for
Alex
them.
Ross.
Yeah. Boy, that was good. If you haven't read that, if you like the Terminator universe, it's great.
Ron lives here in town.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he ever come to your comic book meetings that Jeff
Oh,
and Joe? And,
Ron organizes those.
what?
Yeah, he's Captain Ron.
Yeah.
So you guys are buds with him, but he's still he's an argumentative fellow.
No, Ron isn't argumentative at all.
Okay, all right. I'm thinking of Brayfogle.
Right.
Okay.
Well, let's go over the tiers real fast.
Thank
we
you,
can
sir.
see if we can get somebody to buy another one. So we have the Officer Assault whole package.
It's assist, not assault. Now wait a minute, that's a huge difference.
Yeah. Officer Assist.
You got to.
I'm even wearing my glasses. I'm just telling you.
Freudian slips, man.
I
Officer
got-
assault.
Yeah. Well, it's my brain's dead, and
It's-
I might have had a drink or two
Smoke
before.
some weed or something. Get over it.
That's gonna help, right?
No,
Well,
but it's a
me.
great excuse. Yeah, this one's kind of. I'm glad to see this one being so popular. As a matter of fact, there's a doctor. That I'm not going to drop his name, but he writes for Psychology Today, who wrote an article several years ago about cops being real world superheroes. Kind of talks about what cops put up with. Just think about if you were like today, Drew, if you were going through your day doing your job and someone came up and tried to hit you over the head with a 2x4 and shoot you or choke you. Imagine how many days it would take you to get past that trauma of wanting to tell everybody about this traumatic experience you just had. But cops have that all the time. So they're dealing with these strange and mind-blowing, incomprehensible events. Well, this guy wrote a neat article about how cops are sort of like real world superheroes with what they put up with and how they're expected to remain stoic and so on. I'll share that article on our Thin Blue Line Facebook sometime this week. But anyhow, I reached out to him just to thank him for the article and sort of dropped a link to the campaign. And he shit a brick, really. He said he geeked out. He's a huge fan of Mike Barron. He's got framed on his wall that Punisher #1 comic and
Nice.
back at the Officer Assist level, which gets you a book, gets you the physical book. You got to have physical books. It also gets you the digital. It gets you a second book so you can share it with somebody. Plus, and this is something I definitely, before we end the show tonight, I don't know, I know you go about an hour or so, or we've got Mike for that long at least. We're giving a portion of the proceeds. If we hit our budget, and I think we will, we're going to be giving a portion of the proceeds to different police-related organizations. And every backer at this level gets a certificate suitable for framing to show that you did back the blue and which of the organizations your donation went to. You'll also get a ride-along coin, or sometimes called a challenge coin. Anybody at this level gets that. And you will also get an autograph card from the team. So you'll get a team card that's got all three of the guys' autographs on it. So it's a sweet deal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And of course,
So if you haven't, so anybody watching, if you haven't backed the book, this is the tier to get. So
Officer Assist, get the whole package.
Yeah.
Now, some people, like our Australian people, they may want to get the digital.
Yeah. Well, because of shipping. Right.
Hello.
Especially.
Right. That's my whole point. Yeah. And then, of course, the book. Now, one thing we did differently this year, you can get the book for $25, but you don't have to pay $10 to get the digital. If you want to add the digital to that, it's just $5. So you can do that as a nice add-on. And then some people don't necessarily want to do the full package, but they would like the autographed bundle. So this one, click that one. I think it's got a little bit more than just the book. No, it's the book, it's the digital, and it's the autograph card. Plus, everybody's going to get, I shouldn't give much away, but it's, some little extras. We like to make it a fun experience. So.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Used bullets, anything like that?
I don't know that we can ship those. Maybe the retailer pack, 5 copies at 30% off. That's about the best we can do. You know how thin the margins are on these things.
Yeah, I noticed that the retailer packs, those some books, those kind of work. Like some people actually sell some, and then other books, like the retailers don't touch them.
Yeah.
Retailers love my books, but they don't want to pay for the shipping.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
They're used to getting cheap or free shipping, and they're used like a book like this. They wouldn't be able to sell for more than $10 or $15 at a convention,
Right.
right? And if they're going to make any money, they want to be paying something like $6 for it at the most, which is typical for like a Marvel 80-page square bound cheap.
Right. That is actually the accurate
Yeah.
for an 80 page, 72
Yeah.
to 80 pager. You know what I mean? That would
Sure.
be a $10 book.
Yep. And they want
and-
to pay 6 for it at the most.
Yeah, and then they want 40% off,
Right.
so that they can make a
And
profit.
that makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
But this is such a niche, and we're a boutique publisher. We're just doing it
And
ourselves.
we don't print 15,000 copies.
Yeah, we can't do
Right.
that. There's just no way. But the beauty of it is that it is such a limited print run that if the book did get something on the secondary market, if it took off, it could be super valuable because they were directly from the publisher, almost like an ash can, if you will, but a really nice.
Yeah, actually, that's the. I have a local. I mean, I have a local publisher I'm a local comic book store who promotes me as a publisher, and because I'm local, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
That's awesome.
and he actually buys the books for $7 each. You know what I mean?
That's awesome,
And sells them for 10. You know.
Well, we had some luck with that on the Florida Man book. We have several retailers and some that have ordered multiple times, have returned multiple times because it just is a hit in their shop. But it makes sense, Florida Man.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm exactly, especially if it's like localized or whatever. I mean, because I've sold in comic book stores. I mean, I've put out in comic book stores something close to 200 books just in the where I can physically reach.
Are you printing them yourself in house, or are you vendor?
No, I printed in bulk when I did the first. I mean that was I already had the books paid for.
You got them in stock,
right? Yeah, I got them in stock, and I mean my stock numbers are getting low. I ran out of the Vinny variants. I mean, I actually have a couple of those left. I might put them on another campaign somewhere. But
are you on Indiegogo in demand still?
Not the first campaign. Okay. I let that one go. And then I'm going to be letting chapter 1 go when because nobody's really buying from it anymore. Because you can get the catch me up on chapter 2. So, well, no, I'm kind of letting those close up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not shutting them down. I'm just letting them close up.
Yeah.
And then when I get ready to launch chapter 3, which is coming soon, my illustrator is taking basically a whole year to draw 24 pages.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, don't get me started.
Don't get Mike started. Don't get me started.
Yeah. So anyway, that I'm waiting till it's done.
Yeah.
You know, before I start the campaign on that, and then I have my other book, which I'm going to be starting a campaign. My new series, the Heartless Series, which is that one. I'm excited so much for that one. I mean, that one is actually I've started a whole different company, and it's an actual nonprofit because we're going to be giving away books. You're not going to be able to buy just the book through the campaign.
Awesome.
You're going to buy a book, and to buy a book, you got to donate a book. So,
hey, that's smart, man.
Yeah. So that's
send me a email when that goes live so we can promote it on Bleeding Fool.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely keep you posted. I don't know when I'm gonna go live. I haven't even launched the email part of it yet.
Okay.
But it's only because I've been like super busy and I haven't I want to be able to dedicate the time to do it right instead of just halving it out my butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, half-ass. Let's look at this next tier because you just mentioned how slow your artist is. Jeff, how long did it take you and Joe, probably from when Joe started to when you finished, to get all 56 pages done?
Well, I just know I decided to take July as the whole month to get the brunt of the book done. So that's what I did. I only worked on it exclusively. So that was, I guess, 30 pages at that point. So the other...
It's a page a day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sort of, kind of, but I don't really work like that. work over the pages, then go over them again and again, and eventually they all end up done. Like I was telling Chris, you won't get a one page at a time. You'll just get the whole stack delivered one day.
He was making me nervous, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom! Here they all.
I said it would get done maybe at the end of October, and then I thought, no,
He cranked it out, man. I was so thrilled, and they're beautiful. This next tier right here, click on that. That's for an original art page. I think we sold one this morning.
This one here.
Yeah, man, that's very exciting. It's a full page. These are all penciled and inked. This is on paper. There's a really cool video that we did for another channel that's on our Twitter right now at Thin Blue Line Comics, and comics is CMX. And it shows Joe, but there's some photos at the end where Jeff's holding up the pencil and the painting, and has several pages that he's inked right there. These guys just cranked it out. And back then he had, how many pages did you have back then? Probably 10, 12, maybe 18. I don't know how many you had back then, Jeff. That was in.
Well, I had about 30 to 35 pages when I did the final brunt in July. So prior to that, it was the balance. But I worked over those, I think, over a period of 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
Well, you can't be completely done because you still got to draw somebody in the book, right? So.
Well, there's some panels that are waiting for anybody to be drawn in. So effectively, we have a finished book, but if we don't sell those other mugshots, and that's our next one. This one is for an original art page. The last one is the mugshot, and we did get a guy that backed that in the late hours last night.
Nice.
So I reached out to him to get headshots with different expressions or whatever, so that Jeff and Joe can finish out those panels. But man,
Fantastic.
The book is done. I mean, it is. We are so ready to say, here you go, Ixan, finish it out. Here you go, Warren, finish it out. Warren does great letter work, and Ixan just does great color work.
Well, I mean, the artwork is great. I mean, Mike's writing speaks for itself. We don't need to harp on Mike's writing. I mean, he's got two Eisners. You know what I mean?
He can recite the script right now if you want him to. Mike, you've got that memorized, don't you?
No. I'm about 1 million words past that script.
I know. And that's the thing. These guys are all done with it, which is kind of got to be a surreal situation, Drew and Sim, where you've already finished your work and it's been put to bed, and then you've given the campaign manager all this stuff to start making assets and tweaking the promotion, tweaking the campaign and all that, but you're done. You're just kind of waiting on, let's see if the people respond to it or not. And that's got to be a surreal situation. It's fresh for me, but for them, it's like they're working on other stuff.
I've been stuck in a similar situation right now with the latest book. Like it tells in the adverse, I had to postpone it for a while because I was adding stuff and getting old material remastered. But my job was all done.
Right.
6 months, and
That's
6
crazy.
months later, the book was done.
That's a weird place to be. It's hard to conceive it.
Yep.
Oh, we got jumped up again into 58, 57.
Beautiful. Hey, I wanted you to go down to just underneath the Sergio pinup so I could tell you about the organizations that we're giving to. Because at the end of the day, it's pro-cop. If you hate cops, you might not like this comic. Okay? I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
Okay, so this is
if you don't like cop, maybe give it a try and see another side of it.
There it is. Yeah, you might. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it might open your eyes, because I think, Mike, wasn't this kind of inspired by you having an eye-opening experience with law enforcement after your first wife passed away?
Well, I did think of that when I was conceiving the story. And I came home one day and my wife was dead from an overdose of OxyContin and vodka. Of course, I called 911, and the police who responded were very sympathetic and helpful. I just want to say that, that they really tried to. They had real sympathy for me, and they did everything they could to ease my pain at that time. And I should point out that my friend, the writer Peter Brandvold, also came down, and he went with me when we went down to the police department to give a statement, and took me home. And if you like Westerns, you should check out Peter's books. He's the most popular Western writer in the world right now.
Yeah, so Mike loves cops. Mike is pro cop. Mike is anti defund the police, and obviously Joe is too. And Jeff wouldn't be on the project if he wasn't at least philosophically in the same realm. So there's
Defund the police is so stupid and insane on the face of it that I'm surprised it gained any traction at all.
agreed.
Yeah, you know what? I think it gained traction negative. Like, I mean, it was like one of those phrases that the people who were, the people of who introduced that concept had enemies. You know what I mean? The proponents that were actually pro police. I think they kind of like really made that like
It's
a
people
big
that want to
noise
get away
thing
with crimes.
because it's really stupid. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like for like maybe like 5% of the people, 3% of the people were actually like serious about defund the police, but they like harped it so hard that it seemed like, like 40% or 50%. I mean, it's actually kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's such a ridiculous thing that even progressives are saying that it's ridiculous.
Well, and
Yeah,
they're
but
all
this,
running screaming, and they denied they had anything to do it. But some people have put together a film clip of one stupid politician after another calling for defunding the police. And I don't have to tell you who they are. You know who they are.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's gotten a little bit of traction, but it's mostly from the noisemakers. I think you're right, Drew. I think the people who think otherwise are in the majority. We just don't tend to grouse and get outraged. We just kind of get on and live our lives and think that's a stupid psycho over there. Don't pay attention to them.
Yeah. Well, most of us who aren't crazy, don't get all wrapped up in that stuff. You know what I mean? I mean,
It's amazing how law enforcement doesn't necessarily see it that way, because on the front lines where they're working, that is the echoes. I mean, that they're hearing F the pigs, F the police, defund the police and all that, because that's the people that they're up against, right? The people who keep to themselves, who support cops, they hardly hear from them. They hardly meet those people because they don't have a reason to. They're not arresting those people. They're not coming up against those people. So
yeah, everything's perception.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's all perception. I mean, it's like if you're a cop that just came from a call where you just risked your life and someone was just shooting at you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're on another call and maybe you're a little over intense on that other call, you know what I mean? That's a natural thing. You're gonna be. You were just in a shooting thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
And
human. Absolutely,
Yeah.
they're raw. And what's cool about this story too is there is an incident that takes place. There's a shooting, and whether it was right or wrong, people started riots, and our protagonist is just sort of existing in that reality that she has to be called in, and Mike kind of takes over one of her jobs with her partner is guarding the mayor, because the mayor is out there kind of acquiescing to the protesters.
We never learned the details of the shooting.
They'll go out of their
All
way.
we know is that a cop shot someone.
Yeah,
And it
but
happens off panel.
all you need to see is that they'll go out of their way to find excuses of anything to defend a criminal that
Yeah.
did something wrong or did something, and they'll go out of their way to sacrilege somebody that just did a little mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Just look at it, like it's just
Well-
stupid that one side wants the other one not to exist, and the other one side wants to go, can we talk?
Well, no, I think the system is kind of set up to set the sides against each other, and I think that it's by design. Because if you look at it, very rarely when police do shoot somebody and they're wrong, you know what I mean. Very rarely do they ever get fully prosecuted. You know what I mean? And that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And because that problem exists, it creates this other, exaggeration on the other side. You know what I mean? So I think that there's a lot of, I know the police in my neck of the woods really well from both sides of the things. My mother was an attorney, so I got to meet them from that side, and then I got into my own share of trouble, so I got to meet them from that side.
Yeah.
So so I've seen both sides really clear. And it's really funny how like if the police think of you as an attorney's son, they'll treat you one way, and if they think of you as just somebody on the street who may be causing trouble, they'll treat you another way. But it's not like they're training. It's just a human nature thing. You know what I mean? It's like you got to realize that if somebody's if you look like somebody who is up to no good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to just
Well, they
naturally
need to be
cautious.
Yeah, it's just
exactly.
like how many times have they've pulled over a car And who knows what this guy or gal is going to do when they come up to the driver's side, right? We've all seen the dashboard video camera footage of cops, somebody busting out, pow, 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 and just blowing the cop down. So they never know every situation they go into what it could turn out. But knowing that you're the daughter of an attorney, they're probably assuming, well, this guy's probably been raised right and understands the law and isn't going to be an ass about things. But I don't know about this kid that's breaking the law.
Yeah, here's a funny story. Again, this is kind of funny. So I was just driving in my pickup right before I got rid of it. I actually have a different car now. So I got pulled over because I had a warrant on my. And apparently, I don't know why he checked my plates and ran me or whatever. He was behind me, and you know what I mean. And he found out that I had a warrant.
Yeah.
And the warrant was from like years and years and years back, and I had actually taken care of it, but it was still showing up. So he pulled me over and basically was going to take me to jail, right? And then
I'm going to type in something on the FBI database real quick.
You're funny. And then my girlfriend at the time, who was my ex-fiance now, she actually texted me, and he saw the text because he was holding my phone, and he recognized her name. So he called her and asked her if she knew me. And because she knew me, and she goes, yeah, he's all right. Whatever. He's like, what? Here's. He just wrote me a little, note to go and show up for the court date.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then the correspondent at the court date, the judge knew me too, but the judge knew that, he's like, this is BS. You're out of here. No problem.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it was like one of those things, but it's like first impression, you know what I mean? Like he's just there. He's gonna this guy's going to jail. That's his, what I mean? And then he knows somebody.
Well, what's he supposed to do, right? I mean, he's not Judge Dredd. There's just a demarcation line between you're either for the rule of law or you're for anarchy, right? So what sucks is the inconvenience of you getting caught up in a system that doesn't have a lot of grace. Occasionally a police officer can say, okay, listen, I'm going to let you off with a warning or whatever. But when there is a warrant, they really don't have any choice in the matter, right? And they probably aren't always happy about having to do it. I would hate to think that police officers take great glee in handcuffing someone and writing up a lot of paperwork, right? But there's probably these points of no return where they just can't say, well, you've got a warrant, but I'm going to let you go, right? I mean, I get it. Trust me, I've had my run-ins with the law. But all that aside, I do want to mention these projects. That first one is the BJJ. I'm glad Church of Failure is not here anymore because
we know what we'd be saying there. Yeah,
it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's part of what our protagonist is training in. She is a cop that's training in that so that she can better handle perps in the field, right? Well, this is a program that trains cops, but of course they accept donations so that they don't have to charge the cops. Or they don't have to charge the precinct for training the cops. You can click on any of you could actually, honestly, you could say, well, I don't want a comic book. I don't want a graphic novel, but I would like to help the police. You can just click on these and go straight in and go help them. But these are the three groups that we're giving to. The second one is a memorial fund that just memorializes fallen officers that are slain. And then the last one is the Fallen Officer Foundation, which actually helps the families of slain officers. And then, of course, there's our stretch goals. Buttons, ride-along coins for everybody, bigger cover, more pages, trading cards, the usual stuff. That last one, though, is Adopt a Cop, where we take it to another level. We don't just donate a portion. We actually will adopt a cop for up to 18 months so that they can...
He comes to your house.
Yeah, he comes to your house. He lives with you. You cook him dinner.
You got to put him up. You got to actually,
Yeah, that's right.
As long as he's potty trained, okay?
Well, they have to be to work on the force. Those are long drives.
Hey, they do have diapers.
Well, they also have dark pants. So, as Charlie Brown once said, sometimes getting praise in this place is like peeing in a dark pair of pants. You get a warm, fuzzy feeling, but nobody can tell. Nobody knows.
Oh, I think with that said, let's look at what we have here at this at the price.
Thank you, sir.
one more time. Let's see if we've gone back up any further.
I was hoping we'd hit 6. Nope, not quite. We're waiting
quite.
on the big 6K. We're going to get there. Listen, we got 29 days left. We just launched. This has been fun tonight with you, Drew. I appreciate you knocking the rust off the streaming surfboard tonight to host us. It's been fun.
Well, I'll keep pushing for you guys. You know that I that's how I do. So.
And you're a good friend.
Thank you, sir.
That's basically the key. You know what I mean? It's like you guys are my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's important. And I mean it's really cool that that Mike is like a super down to earth guy and has like the rep that he does.
Yeah.
I mean, just Mike, I'm sure you probably have had a lot of people just kind of like gush on you like for years because probably mostly because of the Badger and the Punisher, but when I told people that there was going to be an interview with, look at him sinking, that's so funny. when I told people that you were going to be on, that they're like, oh really, and it's like I'm wondering where the heck they are right now. You know what I mean? Because
we're gonna watch the replay, man.
That's exactly it. They're gonna catch it all on the replay.
Yeah.
But
if you're watching the rerun, go back us at the top level. Get in the book.
Yeah, and if you have a question for Mike Barron after the fact, just leave it in the comments, and we'll get the question to him.
I'll get to it.
And follow him on Twitter
at Bloody Red Baron.
Bloody Red Baron.
And on Substack too. MikeBarron.substack.com.
And he's posting stuff there about every 2 days, 2 or 3 days.
Now, Substack.
I try to keep that.
I understand that Substack is like the place where a lot of like actual people are splitting DC and Marvel and actually just going to Substack to to go direct. But it doesn't. I mean, I've kind of investigated it. It doesn't seem like not too many people are making so much money doing that right now.
Some are. I ain't.
No, I mean, everybody wants stuff on the internet for free. That's the problem.
Well, that's what the internet's for.
Well, pretty much. That's why we make physical books. That's why we're trying to. We're not doing a comic. Yeah,
these aren't webtoons we're selling.
Yeah, right. If you want to go back the campaign and you can't find it on Indiegogo, go to Thin Blue Line Comics.
Is that with an X?
No, it's the full word. Comics. ThinBlueLineComics.com.
ThinBlueLineComics.com.
Which kind of makes you think, are there going to be more comics? We'll see.
Well, you know what? I mean, here's the thing. Thin Blue Line, right, gives you the ability to change the cop that's the center of the story.
Oh, wow. Good point.
You know what I mean? You're not stuck to the same character. You're stuck to just police.
We could put Bronze Star on that website next.
Yep.
Mike, don't say anything.
So I'm excited to see where this goes. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to reading it when you guys ship, and it's gonna be a great thing. And everybody who showed up for the show, thank you so much for hanging out. It's so great to see everybody. It's so great to hear you guys in the chat, and we'll be back around. And hey, if you're not backing it tonight,
follow these guys. These guys are good artists.
Yeah, Jeff, tell them your Twitter handle.
Instagram.
You won't find me on Twitter. Instagram, I rarely post because I hate it. But if you want to see more comic art, find me on comicartfans.com, and you can find me on Facebook too.
All right. So, find him.
Find him.
I'm out there. Just put in my name. I'll come up.
Yeah, there's nobody named Jeff Slemons out there but this one guy.
There actually is. He's a guy in New York, and he's much darker tone than me. It's the funniest thing. I want to contact him and find out what the story is.
Trade emails or something.
Yeah. I'm so like holding back all the if life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Right.
I've been using that for years.
I've heard him before. It's okay.
I'm sure you have. I've been trying to hold them back, but I couldn't. I had to let one out. All right. With that,
good night, guys.
We're going to end the broadcast. Thank you for coming to another episode of Indie Comics Interviews, and we love you.